into Gabby Williams, got hit in the forehead, and it caused 2 black eyes. And you can still see some of the remnants of them, and now she's sporting the bloody lip. She is as tough as they come.
Look, tell.
Close your eyes for a second and imagine this scene. The crowd is buzzing, cameras flashing, playoff pressure in the air. Indiana Fever players jog onto the court, but all eyes lock onto one figure, Lexie Hull. She doesn't just walk in, she stomps into the game with the bruises of battle written all over her face. 2 black eyes from a nasty collision the week before. The kind of shiners that make even the toughest fans wince. And by the time the night is over, she adds a bloody split lip to her collection of war scars.
Bow, bow, bow! That's a W. Made it out. All we gotta do is keep making it out. Woo, dubs!
Most players would have tapped out, trainers would have told them to sit, but Hall wasn't having it. She didn't just stay in the game, she poured her energy into one of the toughest, grittiest performances of her career. And then, after the final buzzer, reporters shoved microphones in her face. Her response? One line, short, simple, but so powerful that it instantly became the defining message of Indiana's playoff push. Fans flooded Twitter and Instagram with reactions. Lexie's quote gave me chills. "This is the Fever's new identity. Put this on a billboard."
Caitlin Clark released a statement saying this: "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. I want to thank everyone who had my back through all the uncertainty. This has been incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. The way the fans continue to show up for me and for the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I am so proud of how this team has only gotten stronger through adversity this year. Now it's time to close out the season and claim our spot in the playoffs."
But to understand why her words hit so hard, we need to rewind, because this wasn't just one tough player gutting it out. This was a season where everything went wrong until Indiana showed us who they really are.
At the end of the day, she's been working her butt off to be able to get back, and we've kind of run out of time to be able to do it in a safe way, in a safe manner. And I think we've all been very open and upfront with her long-term health and wellness is the most important thing. And to be in a position that you need to be in to play at this time of the year, we just ran out of time to get her there.
It all starts with Caitlin Clark, the golden ticket, the franchise face, the player who packed arenas and gave Indiana hope of a basketball renaissance. Clark had been battling a groin injury since July, a nagging, stubborn issue. Fans kept saying she'll be back in time for the playoffs. She has to.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, number one, just all the injuries that she's had. Obviously, I wouldn't speak for her, but and the amount of work that she's put in to position herself to be able to play and then to, have to ultimately make this decision. There's disappointment. There's the obvious frustration that's come with not being healthy really for an entire season. But ultimately, I think the big picture is the most important thing, and those are conversations that we've continued to have. And the message has continued to be that it's not her long-term health and wellness and her being 100% when she's ready to go is the most important thing.
Every injury update was dissected online. Some speculated she was being protected too much. Others worried she was being rushed. Finally, Clark herself went public. "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season." That statement hit like a punch to the gut. Fans across Indiana went silent. Commentators sighed on live broadcasts. Headlines spread instantly. Clark done for the season.
If a newcomer in Bree Hall plays tonight, lost it on a kick out. Mitchell, oh, she's hot to start. Mitchell finds Dantas, who rolls and lays it in.
The Fever's playoff chase was suddenly in crisis. Social media lit up with debates. Should she have pushed through? Was the team being overprotective? Could Indiana even compete without her? Coach Stephanie White addressed it bluntly. She admitted they ran out of time to do it safely. Translation, rushing her back would have been reckless.
Performance at the exact moment they needed it.
Mitchell, will she add to it? Whips it back for Dantas. Kelsey Mitchell putting on a show here in Indy.
Look at the spin on the ball. Just one dribble over the head pass.
Mitchell's been brilliant on a kick out to Howard. Mitchell bouncing. Howard, the left hand.
And then getting a stop on the defensive end. I know Coach Stephanie White is happy with the team with that.
Mitchell being hounded by Atkins, trying to shake her. Mitchell bounces inside, and Howard gets the roll.
Kelsey Mitchell led the charge like she has all year.
General Manager Amber Cox backed it up. This was about Clark's career, not one playoff run. Smart, logical, but devastating. Because without Clark, the Fever weren't just losing their leading scorer. They were losing their identity. Fans asked the obvious. If not Clark, then who? Who carries the torch when the superstar can't?
Here in the first half. Oh, it's Howard finding Sims, who finishes tight quarters. Howard backing in on Williams. Little shake and bake. And the fadeaway.
And as if Clark's absence wasn't enough, the Fever's injury list looked like a medical chart from a war zone. Sophie Cunningham, out. The team's emotional enforcer, gone. Sydney Colson, torn ACL. Veteran leadership, gone. Ari McDonald, broken foot. The backup playmaker, gone. Chloe Bibby, knee issues. Stretch forward depth, gone. Rondart, that's 5 rotation players wiped out. That's not just bad luck, that's snake bitten.
7 of them came in the second quarter. Indiana's just been able to hold Chicago at an arm's length here tonight. And Natasha Howard putting together one of her best games of the season.
Missing that little bunny, just the possession before, comes up through the contact, goes straight to her chest. Not a...
Sims finds some space and can't get the roll. Howard charging, tips it, comes down with it, and flips it home.
Every night, Coach White had to play lineup roulette. Who starts? Who handles the ball? Who guards the perimeter? Chemistry couldn't build because the roster kept shifting like sand. Analysts on ESPN said it flat out. The Fever are cursed. Fans tweeted memes comparing the team's injury report to a hospital wing.
She is the team's leading scorer with Angel Reese not available. Hull lob it inside. Boston spins and finishes. So far in the second half, it's been one step forward, one step back for the Sky. Boston turns the corner on Cardoso, banks it home, and a foul.
But here's the twist. Despite all of it, Clark never checked out. Every broadcast caught her standing on the sidelines, clapping, yelling, giving high fives, pulling teammates into mini huddles. She wasn't playing, but her leadership never left.
Good hands there by Williams. Petty powers through traffic and is able to finish. Howard's going behind the back on Bana, muscles her way to the rim, draws the foul, and flips it home, and one Powers.
And that presence mattered. Because when your roster is gutted, you need something bigger than talent to survive. You need belief, and Indiana clung to it, one possession at a time. Zoom out to the standings. The Fever weren't coasting. They weren't comfortable. They were dangling off the playoff cliff, barely holding on to 8th place. Right behind them, the Los Angeles Sparks, hungry to snatch that final spot. Every game felt like a do-or-die scenario. If Indiana slipped just once, the Sparks could leapfrog them.
Love watching these players.
Here's Michaela Timpson checking in for her first minutes and banking it home.
Fans were doing math on tiebreakers. Media speculated which game would seal the deal. Rankle, the pressure was suffocating. Players admitted the locker room felt like every night was Game 7. And right in the middle of it, the schedule dropped the Chicago Sky into their path. A rivalry game. High stakes, playoff implications. Would Indiana fold without their superstar? Or would they deliver the shocker nobody expected?
Powers bouncing. Hull. Oh, had it denied at the rim. Well, looked home free, and I think...
On the surface, Indiana versus Chicago looks like just another game. But if you've been watching, you know this was personal. Indiana didn't just beat Chicago this year. They humiliated them. A 5-game sweep. Average margin of victory, 24 points. That's not competition. That's domination. For Chicago, it was embarrassing. For Indiana, it was bragging rights. Broadcasters even joked, the Fever owned the sky. This time, though, the stakes were higher.
This guy, they just got to get into their sets a little bit quicker.
Here's Hull off the Boston screen. She hits. And Indiana is
I love the way that she's been able to elevate her game.
the youngsters out of South Carolina, who both are having strong seasons, as Indiana has opened up 3 for 3 with Lexie Hull.
Indiana needed a win to secure their playoff footing. Chicago was desperate to play spoiler. The result? A 97-77 thrashing. The Fever didn't just win, they ripped the sky apart. Again, fans watching at home laughed at the deja vu. Same story, same ending.
3 points here tonight at 14 minutes off the bench. Turner gets inside, kick out. Hull who buries a 3.
But the truth was, this game meant far more than just padding the sweep. It was proof that Indiana's identity wasn't built on Clark alone. They could still dominate, they could still own a matchup, and they could still take command of their playoff destiny. So who stepped up? The answer, everybody.
Steph mentioned, whenever she sees you with the 2 black eyes, she smiles in a way because it just exemplifies your toughness. Do you feel tough in these kinds of situations with these 2 black eyes?
I mean, that's what people keep telling me. Every time she sees me, she smiles and then she says, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "You don't need to be sorry. This is what it is." And when I'm playing, like, I forget about it, and then I go and look in the mirror. I'm like, "Oh shit, they're still there." So yeah, I don't really think too much about it because I don't necessarily feel them all the time.
Yeah, and you're still able to see completely fine?
Yep.
All right.
Nothing's changed.
All right, perfect. I think
Kelsey Mitchell was electric. 20 points, 8 assists. She balanced scoring with playmaking, showing leadership beyond the box score. Fans raved, she's not just a scorer anymore, she's the conductor.
The resilient, nature of our team. I think one other thing that sometimes goes missed is just the character of these women, right? Especially this group that's been here, that's gone through all of this, and then the ones that we brought in. We brought in with O and Shea and AP. I mean, these are women who care about winning. These are women who care about one another. These are women who sacrifice every single day.
Natasha Howard brought grit. 18 points, 7 boards, 4 steals. Her defense suffocated Chicago's rhythm. She was everywhere, inside, outside, disrupting plays. Aaliyah Boston stayed steady in the paint, giving Indiana the kind of anchor every playoff team needs.
By my rough count, the Fever have beaten the Sky by 12,000 points in their 5 games this season. I'm not perfectly sure on that number, but it seems correct. As they smack the Chicago Sky yet again, basically, they've already been in a good playoff position, but cement a hold on a playoff spot.
Odyssey Sims was lightning in the backcourt, bringing speed and energy that wore Chicago down. Aerial Powers chipped in with scoring bursts and hustle plays. The stat that screamed the loudest? 27 assists to just 9 turnovers. That's clinic-level efficiency. Especially for a team forced to shuffle lineups every other night, Chicago had no answer.
Kelsey Mitchell, brilliant once again. Lexie Hull playing through a busted lip after she's played through black eyes, which came from the knot on her forehead, which, is sort of exemplifies the Fever season, the way they fought through things. You got all players on crutches and carts before the game. Caitlin Clark, unfortunately, ruled out for the season. It makes you think what could have been, but what is a smacking for the Sky whenever they face them, and a playoff spot almost assured for the Indiana Fever.
Indiana wasn't just surviving without Clark, they were thriving. And the message was loud and clear, this team had depth. But no story loomed larger than Lexie Hull. She didn't lead in points, she didn't stuff the box score. What she did was something deeper. Symbolic. She stepped onto the court with 2 black eyes from her collision with Gabby Williams a week earlier. Fans gasped when cameras zoomed in. She looked like she'd been through a fight before the game even started. Then in the second half, Camila Cardoso caught her across the mouth. Blood, split lip, trainers rushed over. Any normal player would have checked out. Hull, she waved them off and kept going. On defense, she was relentless, pressuring Chicago's guards, contesting every shot, diving for loose balls. Commentators praised her toughness live. The crowd roared every time she hustled. Coach White said afterward, "Lexie epitomizes what we want to be, resilient and fearless." And then came the defining moment. Reporters asked her about the bruises. She smiled through her black eyes and busted lip and said, "Every day we fight for our injured teammates." Fans lost it. That wasn't just a quote, that was the Fever's new identity, spoken out loud. Step back and look at the bigger picture. Just a few years ago, the Indiana Fever were a laughingstock, nearly a decade of losing seasons, draft misses, empty seats, fans tired of waiting for a turnaround. Now, back-to-back playoff trips, without Clark on the court, without half their roster, and still climbing. The Chicago sweep didn't just pad their win total, it secured their playoff destiny. They leapt into 7th, and with Seattle stumbling and Golden State slipping, 6th place was suddenly possible. Stephanie White's mantra all season, every game is a playoff game, paid off. Her players didn't wait for the postseason. They'd been living in it for months.
Get the brooms out! Get the brooms out! I got my dustpan handy. We sweeping up the Chicago sky. They are toast. They are done. We gonna hold on to our broom for this entire blog. Listen, the Indiana Fever just absolutely smoked the Chicago Sky. What a win! What a win!
And here's the scary thought for the rest of the league. This is only the foundation. Clark will return, injuries will heal, and when you layer a superstar onto a team already hardened by adversity, that's not just resilience, that's contender DNA. So here's what this all means. Indiana's 97-77 victory wasn't just another regular season win, it was a declaration. Raw nurse. They proved they're more than Caitlin Clark. They proved they can dominate even when gutted by injuries. And they proved toughness is now their identity. But most of all, it was Lexie Hull's night. 2 black eyes, a busted lip, refusing to quit. And then with the cameras rolling, she delivered the line that captured everything. Every day we fight for our injured teammates. That's not just a quote, that's a mission statement. Runners, the Fever aren't sneaking into the playoffs anymore. They're storming in bruised but unbroken, ready to fight for every possession. And now the question becomes, are the Indiana Fever the most dangerous dark horse in these playoffs? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single twist of this story, and click the video on screen now. We'll see you there.